Tozani Emakosini, Tamaku, thank you for joining me for another video. Before I commence on the spirits of Ubungoma, it is important for me to make this video so that we all understand what I mean by power and what is God's power. So the definitions here I have of power is the ability or the capacity to do something or act in a particular way. And the second one, the authority that is given or delegated to a person or a body. So we understand, therefore, that prophets or sangomas are delegated with God's ability. Prophets and sangomas are delegated with God's capacity. Of course, in one of the previous videos, in the Spirits of Light, I explained that power refers to the spirits of creation, spirits of water, and the spirits of earth, as they have the ability to create and give birth. So here in Luke chapter 1, verse 17, it says, He will go before him in the spirit and the power of Elijah. Okay, so it is the power, the type of power that Elijah had, meaning the type of spirits delegating, God had delegated to Elijah specific spirits. Of course, this power is subject to the Most High, guys, the Creator. He preserves the earth by His wisdom. So it says here, He had made the earth by His power. He hath established the world by His wisdom. So God has used power, meaning the spirits of creation, to create the earth. Okay, so therefore power is the creation spirits. It is we know that this power belongs to God, as it says here in Psalm 62 verse 11. God has spoken once, twice I have heard this, that power belongs to God. So the spirits of creation, they belong to God. Okay, so I include fire as it is a spirit as well, born out of the waters above, meaning in the firmament. And it is also possible, you must note, for one prophet or sangoma to possess all the spirits, depending on your journey and your purpose that God has put you here on earth for. So Romans chapter 1 says, For ever since the creation of the world, His invisible attributes, His eternal power and divine nature has been clearly seen, being understood through the workmanship, all of His creation, the wonderful things that He has made, so that they are without excuse and without defense. Okay, so this power, this is the power that God endows a sangoma and a prophet. He has delegated the authority of dominion on this earth to his prophets for the betterment, okay, of his people. So Romans chapter 8 verse 19 says, For even the whole creation, all nature awaits eagerly for the children of God to be revealed. Okay, so our connection to nature is real and it should not be taken lightly in any sense. So therefore we approach nature with reverence. It is the power of God revealed, manifested, understood within nature. Nature is not God, but there is the revelation of His working. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 says, Then God said, Let us make man in our image according to our likeness, and let them have complete authority over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, the cattle, and over the entire earth, and over everything that creeps and crawls on the earth. So the spirits of creation, they help us to exercise such a dominion. For what? For the betterment of people, to heal, being made, Makosi, in the image of God. These spirits are what help and assist us in having dominion in this earth, and even in the spiritual realm, connecting. Yet we who have this spiritual treasure are like common clay pots, in order to show the supreme power belongs to God and not us. Therefore, God's power is the spirits that he used to create creation. To create the world that we see today. And sangomas and prophets, they are delegated with that ability and that capacity.
People who have melanin have been told that everything in the body is governed by the brain, and that every reaction in every system is brain governed, and that is wrong. Melanin acts independently. It is capable of instantaneous reaction to energy fields without being processed through any of the neuron synapses and dendrite stems of the brain. In other words, it acts as a chlorophyllin carrier. It takes energy, reacts to it, and processes its own information to its nearby cells. That's why you can get again those beautiful moves of the Michael Jordans, those cuts and so by the football players, and those immediate reactions, because you can't stop and think. They have to train people without melanin or with little melanin to react. People with melanin react anyway, because it's like what they showed on the black Buddhas. You have eyes everywhere. You are totally conscious, and you don't wait for brain processing, which slows it down. We'll prove this to you in the classes, because you can inflict pain, and if you have your mind off somewhere, it'll take sometimes up to 15 seconds before you feel the pain. And you can even delay that longer if you're trying to offset pain by merely mind control. They don't teach you, though, with melanin, you can make that instantaneous reaction, or you can delay it up to 30 seconds, or you cannot even get to feel it at all by simply using certain ways with melanin and ingesting certain foods and herbals. Melanin is a gift from the gods. With melanin, you can speed up your healing process in half. And if you really get into a strong magnetic field, nothing to do with the electricity, which hurts you in the main, you can even cut that into a third. You can see into the body without using anode-cathode ray bombardments, if you have melanin, by using magnetic fields. Once you begin to use this kind of energy in this fashion again, per se, you can speed up everything that your body does and everything that your brain does. You can even speed up the kind of energy and frequencies that normally you're attuned to that come in to your body and into your brain. This makes you a god. When your melanin is functioning correctly, you can bilocate by being in consciousness one place while being in your body in another. Some people call that state now death. That is real life. That's why they used to have guardians for the body, watchers, and all kind of other terms that some of you from Louisiana, from Mississippi, from the old country, and with the teachings of the god Valdal knew about. And that's what you used to run to those people, to bilocate and tell you what was happening and to influence your enemies. And you know your grandmothers and grandfathers talked about it, and some of you may even practice it now. but practice it in the light, in the full capacity. It is a gift from the gods. You earned it. When you don't do the drugs, and I do a lecture called Drugs and the Astral. If ever you want to get a dope head off of his drugs, teach a person with melanin who still knows that he has a soul and a spirit, and she has a soul and a spirit, that they actually can ground their soul on hell. That's the other term for earth when the non-melanin carriers came. And have to go through this 9 lifetimes to get it straight again. And if they don't believe that, ask them, what do you think they're doing with their life now, when they themselves know down deep that the days are passing by and they're going nowhere except into a total extermination of their physical body. The herbals that you take work differently because they have part of the earth in it, and part of that earth awakens the old earth people who are melanin carriers. And therefore, all of those kingdoms of the plants, the animals, the insects, the birds that fly, and everything that creeps and crawls and moves responds to that vibration because it was a vibration that they were created in also, and they look upon you as gods. Gods who don't know who they are. Inasmuch as melanin works on every part of the body and is in every cell of your body, now when the energy fields of earth change, it will begin to vibrate faster, and every part of you will begin to quicken in what it's capable of doing. The tests of any kind, the inoculations using basic low vibrations, food that does not have energy stored within it, cannot work well for you now because you are in a process of change. When the melanin in a form of high energy yield throughout the body vibrates, every cell in every organ vibrates faster. Since melanin is also in the brain vibrates faster. And the frequencies that it can reach are astounding. They're the frequencies that let you seem to be out of your body looking down on it that they all talk about. They're the frequencies that let you sense when something's going to happen to one of your loved ones before it happens, and if it's happening, almost go crazy because you know it's happening even though you're not there. It beats any switch on EATT, Northern Telecom, or Bell Atlantic. It is your instantaneous form of communication. It is a thing that messes up your cable TV when you pass by it. It is a thing that sometimes when you get excited, again, begins to interfere with your TV patterns. And it's a thing that we just don't utilize enough. Why? Because who was going to teach it? The teachers were killed when they brought us out of Mother Africa. The teachers were killed when they attempted to do it here. And even under the Masonic Guild, and the ancient ones who tried to at least serve the gods by helping the children of the gods to know who they were killed and tortured as worse as you were, because they didn't want you to know who you were. They wanted to steal the planet, imprison you, and take what the gods had left. Again, I'm talking about gods, advanced scientists from many worlds, watching a special project here on this planet Tierra, Shan, Sanche, all names for this little place. Melanin, when operating well, causes the pituitary gland to release hormones that they haven't even cataloged. They can't, because they have no way to measure the hormonal things, because they're instantaneously then and they're gone. But when they're there, they give you flashes of the cosmic universe. Intuitive flashes in full color of who you have been and what you can be. The same flashes that when you depart this body and your life passes before you, that you go through again. But did they ever teach you that you don't have to die to bring that about? That cosmic wisdom of knowing everything that your ancestors knew is yours every night when you go to sleep, and between 11 and 2:30 when the melanin glands are working at its best. But you must have total darkness. That's why they give you the TVs that never go out. I told you in a previous lecture, everybody in here this summer will get one shade darker than they are, whether you go out in the sun or not, because the light will be entering into you. The energy will come in whether you close windows or doors or not. And for those who are not used to it, it is absolutely carcinogenic, leukemic death that they're asking to go out in the sun this summer. But as the melanin is stepped up, if you must go out in it, you can survive. The point is, again, it will begin to make your head feel as though it was almost wavering. And until you balance out that melanin and get the higher frequencies going, all it will do in some cases is to give headaches, other cases to make you want to cover the head. But at night when you sleep, each night having been exposed to that, the melanin will go through a metamorphosis and you will wake up with more insight as to who you are, and certain psychic abilities will begin to form within 48 hours after that exposure. If you adapt to it, the next time out, more happens. And then the DNA and the cells will begin to come together, just like a magnet, because magnetism is what it will awaken in your body. And then they'll begin to entwine the strands little by little up to the year